Okay, here we go again. Today, let me chat. Okay, the object activation method is what we call 3 times every 3 seconds once, and it just makes sure that only objects in the range of the player are active at a time, you know, to keep memory low and performance high. So up until now we were doing like a compare every point of every object with every point of every other object, and kind of like estimating neighbors and neighboring objects. And now we're gonna let the art tree do all of that for us, and hopefully gain tons of performance here. Yeah, and then I think it will also be easier to like time generation stuff, and yeah, so let's see. So first of all we have world objects, and that's our index which holds the art tree. So I can query here, and I need an envelope here. So the question is, how do we best make an envelope, right? So let's see what we can do. So the envelope is just so it's just a rectangle, right? That means we need a method. We need a method to get the player's rectangle bounds, you know. This is an envelope. Get players range rect. Yeah. So here we're gonna say do vector 3 player position is there we go. And then let's see, so we have X-Men. So I guess we're doing a square. And since I do want this range to be absolute, we are going to have to do divided by 2. This way the range that we set is like the actual, or actually, no, we do want it. No, the range should be from how far is the player away to the object? So that was correct. Yeah. And then we just want to return that. There you go. Yeah. Okay, great. So the envelope player boundaries players rect, and then that is it's so easy working with an archery. Objects in range. So that's, yeah, awesome. So what we're gonna do first, I guess, is generate, I would say first for each, if it's not generated. So first we say if it's not generated, and world object dot object data is not railroad. Then we do that, and then so oh no, first we'll do if the object is a railroad, then we're going to, for each, through the neighbors of the railroad, and generate those. Then after that we can continue if it is a railroad. I mean, technically we could generate this railroad then, right? Because we know that this railroad is, all his neighbors are generated. So this actually needs to be with a range, because otherwise you don't have the neighbors. Let me see. Yeah, this has to be with a small range, and I would say it's this. So we will make that a lot smaller in this case. And now so I'm wondering, so if all the neighbors of this railroad is done, then what we could do here is actually just generate the railroad at that point. And at this point, we do use all the paths to, for example, to rotate benches and everything, and we should optimize so that benches already contain their neighbors. Yeah, because for each bench, we're actually creating all of the paths and all of their points once again, which is just nonsense. So we're going to do a lot of optimization here. Same thing goes for forests. Yeah, specifically. Did something wrong here. I think I screwed up somewhere up here. Okay, so we got that. So technically, we could do the grass in here as well. Then it wouldn't need to like awkwardly run in its own parallel quarantine in its own manager there. Okay, so first of all, we should probably check if this works. Play boundaries plus object range. Yep. So let's see if that works. So if it does work, we should end up with no more spikes. Okay, here we go. I think it's already generating the railroad. What we should definitely check right away is whether the railroads are generated after all of the grounds, so that we make sure that it conformed onto the colliders of all the grounds and doesn't like just go through them. Generation should, in the editor, take 17 seconds at most. This feels like it's taking a bit longer. Did I screw something up? Let me see. Put objects in. Okay, so that's interesting. The game is fully stuck, not reacting at all. Let me see. I might have to restart the engine. That's not a good start. Okay. I'm not sure why it should crash. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Oh, wait a sec. So definitely, I didn't even have the server running. I wonder why I didn't get an error for that. That's weird. So I should check that out, of course. I'm gonna go... Actually, no, I'm not gonna risk that anymore. I'm going to leave the breakpoint in there and hopefully re-arrive there. Clouds worked. Cannot... Okay. Cannot insert items into an STR packed R tree after it has been built. Well, that's interesting. Are you kidding me? So can we do just a normal art tree? Ah, okay, so I could add them. Yeah, okay, this looks sensible. I just add them first, and then later on I get the neighbors, and then we do update neighbors instead of, yeah. So now we can go here and take the update neighbors and do that. And we can do that then for the benches. I think we'll need that. Bus stops will need that. Okay, cool. So let's see if we fix that issue. I mean, it's kind of disappointing that it's completely immutable. But I guess that's how the S tree works, because it does do sorting and everything. So if I want really high performance, I will need a static and immutable R tree. But of course, I do have the option to opt for an R tree if I absolutely do need the dynamic updates. I think R trees are just a tiny bit slower. So let's see how. Amazing. Okay, that seemed to have worked. I will. Okay, now it's generating a. So first thing we should do is validate this. Okay, that doesn't seem to have worked. So I believe type not implemented city. I believe that it did not correctly query but this could be fun too. So then here, this segment just completely is gone. That's not cool. So I wonder if it's actually cool that this does not conform. And then this here did conform. Okay, we'll have to figure that out. Yeah, because this is actually exactly how it looks. Just that these blocks wouldn't be there. It's funny. And then when we go through here. I mean, this could be fine actually, to be honest. Okay, so there is a slight issue. It doesn't seem like the neighbors were generated. Railroad. So we will see now. check out these neighbors, if they even have any neighbors. See if that worked. It does seem to have worked. So one sec, wait. So why, if I go here, all the objects in range, then I say, if it's a railroad, go through all of the neighbors, generate the neighbors, and then once this is all generated, then I generate the railroad. That should work because it's making sure that all the neighbors are generated. Why isn't it working? So I am going to take this and pull it out and then just so here it's not generated and generate. So now it seems like definitely all other objects have to be generated before we even generate a single railroad. At least that's what it seems to me like. Nope. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? Maybe the range is too small. Nope. Wasn't the range. Why is that the case? Even if I do like it this way, I do need to figure out why it's not working, because otherwise, you know, I don't even understand my own code. So perhaps we don't throw here, we just say debug.error. This is a Unity. I hope it's not the city that's kind of like ruining it. But I don't think it is, to be honest. Nope. So is there Okay, so if this doesn't work, then that means that the objects being generated are not respecting the yield. So yeah, this doesn't work. So so weird, to be honest. So weird. So let's see. So I don't know if the activation is so necessary, although, yeah, because it is part of the generate function. It's very weird, very weird. Why isn't this working? I need to somehow debug this better. So, if we do land there, so that obviously generated that after. So I think the issue is that path is not. This path is not a neighbor of the railroad, which I'm sorry, it should be. It absolutely should be. So I think the first thing that we should definitely make sure of is that all of this is that all of this? Actually could have been because of that. It could have been just the cities. But I don't think it was. I think we're still gonna land there. So then we somehow have to make sure that when we do yield the building quarantines, that it definitely waits, so that we can ensure that it was definitely generated. So there is nothing asynchronous about that. This neither. This is the only asynchronous operation. If I yield return this, this here also has nothing asynchronous. Totally fine. Generate tree. Totally fine. Church, railroad. This also should be totally fine. Oh, the name. Wait a minute. The neighbors have to be where neighbor Current object data is not a railroad. Maybe that's the issue. That I am actually... Yeah, so I might have been generating the neighbor. Yeah, I think that's the issue. Let's see if that was it. That must have been it. Like I'm going through all the railroads, and their neighbors include railroads. So they're kind of, while generating the neighbors, I was generating the railroads as well, which, of course, completely defeats the purpose of generating the neighbors first. So let's see if that fixes that. So now nothing's happening. Interesting. Oh, right, because now we're waiting for the forests. Oh, right. Okay, so I'm gonna... Forests, we might actually... We might get away with not waiting for those forests. Because the trees shouldn't impact any generation whatsoever. There you go. See, now everything is generated, and then later on it should generate the railroads. It's generating. I'm not sure why it would say neighbor generation failed at this point. Oh yeah, probably because, yeah. Or no, maybe not. Yeah, as you can see, we now fixed the error, fixed the bug. Railroads once again go over everything. Let's see if it's still missing that segment over there. Probably not. Nope. Okay, so that fixed that bug for sure. Still debatable whether we like this or not. That it just goes above everything else. Oh yeah, and one thing we definitely have to change is the forest grounds. These really don't look good with the green. So that's going to be a fun change at least. One other thing we can check is now, do we still get spikes? Do we still get object activation spikes? That's the interesting part here, right? So those spikes that you see are the grass. So is the grass cell manager? But otherwise, I don't think we see any. Let's see. So what's this one here? Grass compute. Yeah, so as expected, I do not think we will see any object activation spike anymore. Let's see which one is this. And that's just completely epic, right? Because before we had those spikes. Yeah, so this one's the grass compute. Okay, so now object activation is literally effortless. And that's pretty awesome. We're still getting grass compute spikes, but yesterday I kind of accepted that. Okay, so let's fix the forest ground color. It's not really what I want. Doesn't really go well with the green, and I'm liking the green, to be honest. So when we're looking at this here, everything looks nice and cartoony. Except for that forest. It just ruins everything. Okay. Let's see, what are we getting here? Yeah, it's funny that, like, we don't even see it anymore, the object activation. It's become so irrelevant. It's just completely optimized away. So that's pretty epic. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's see. We want to change the forest grounds. They don't really fit. Yeah. Oh, whoops. This one. Does that look better? Not too sure yet. I'm not sure. I don't know, do we like brown? Blue. What about dark green? Our forest ground's dark green in real life. I don't know. It could work. But then again, this here looks kind of off. Definitely too much bloom right there. What about that? Kind of a reddish brown. It's not really it yet. Whoops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Changed the wrong material. What about that? Gray. That looks kind of cool. Oh yeah. This looks kind of cool. I like it. So I'm just going to build and run that. Okay. That looks really cool. What we are going to try so a lot of trees will always take a lot of rendering power. Guess the water is the same thing. Just wondering about this road color when it goes through forests, but I guess it's fine. Because this road does look like a river, but it's not. But I do like this cartoonish look with the blue here, so we're gonna have to figure that out. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. Okay, next thing we have to figure out is ambient occlusion. The bad boy. Okay. So what we're gonna do is test the ambient occlusion. Okay, so we also need to fix the graph generation. It's generating inside of the roads. That's not good. Okay, so here we go. Ambient occlusion on. Maybe this is the wrong ambient occlusion. Color grading. Uh-oh. Why do we have two of these on? Okay. Then we look into the camera, to this post-processing. So that was the ambient occlusion that we wanted. Boom. The thing looks slightly better, doesn't it? What? Why is this fixed? Oh, there's no farm ground here. Sorry, it's not fixed. Here we go. And I do think we pulled the intensity down last time. And that if I turn it up, I might get an even better look. Yeah, I think that was the look that we had. Okay, so now it's screwing up the grass. Like that just looks like crap. Trees look amazing though. Yeah, this is definitely far too intense for it to look good. Let me see. Should just be like that, if so. And then at that point the question is it even necessary, you know? I think that can work. If we just ignore the water bug for now. It's hard to know if this autofocus is even doing anything. I don't know. Just gonna leave it off for now. Okay. So now what we could actually do is fix the benches and kind of optimize everything, right? We can optimize tree generation as well. Especially if we go here. Where's contents? And then here we're passing relevant paths. Get past near polygon. So if we do a stopwatch here, Then we can measure how long this is taking currently. Get random points in polygon. Oh boy. Is point near any path. Oh boy, so it's actually getting relevant paths, and then we need to restart the stopwatch. Restart. Then we need to stop, and then log that. So these are two probably intense operations. So let's see, so if either of that is above null, either of that is above 0, then we might have a small issue, you know. And if it's very far above 0, then we can fix that with the archery that we're using. Oh no. Oh yeah. 23, 30 milliseconds, 39 milliseconds. Okay. Awesome. Is point near any path. So the question is now, so actually what we're gonna do is shouldn't actually log this. Getting relevant path is always 0. What we should be logging is this now. And then log this, stopwatch, point and polygon check. So we're gonna log that first. Let's see. Actually, that's not what we should do. Yeah. So reverse that, and then int largest longest time taken is 0, then if stopwatch is equal bigger than longest time taken, then we do that and we log it. Elapsed milliseconds is a long. Okay. So this should get us the max over time, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be around 50, I guess. I'm just gonna stop that one again. Okay. Yeah. So 2840. Oh no. Wow, 188 milliseconds. And that's for one batch, right? So, if that's around 200, now we're going to see what difference it makes if we ignore the paths. That's going to be interesting. If we ignore all the paths, amazing. So now, of course, we do end up with, let's give that a second. Wow. Okay. So of course now we do end up with trees on paths because we are ignoring them again. But that means we can speed up the... Wait, let me see. Can we even... Is point anywhere... Is point near any path? Can we go through all the paths? Is point near line segment? And then we're doing that for each and every point. Oh no. So the only issue is that getting the paths wasn't too bad. The bigger issue is figuring out whether a point is on a path. So let's ask GPT. I have all paths inside of an str tree from net topology. Would it make any difference in performance to query the tree for whether a point is on a path? Especially paths aren't stored with their width, by the way. Wait, the paths I am passing in are already the neighbors, the ones in range. My question is specifically about the check if any point is on one of the paths in range.
If the paths passed to the method are already filtered to be in range, e.g. based on some bounding box or other spatial filtering,
I didn't ask
then
you to
adding
talk,
a spatial
did
tree.
I already have the paths inside a spatial tree. The question is whether if I query the tree for whether a path is, or whether a point is on a path would be faster than my manual segment check. Obviously, considering width. So I think I'm going to have to test both. So wait a minute, if I have a point, I query the tree for each point. That plus width, then I didn't get the bounding box. I actually don't think there's a faster way to do this check. I do think I can optimize the bench calculations, but not the tree, whether a tree is on a path or not. But this also means I think I should only be considering the benches right now. So let's see. Rotational point builder. All paths. Find the closest path. Get closest point on segment. This is a segment. So this shouldn't, yeah, so first I'm going to fix the rotation issue, right? That would make most sense, I think. Can't be too hard, I mean. Oh, and I'm going to switch off the generation of the generation of railroads. Simply because I don't need them right now and they take a long time. I should probably come up with like some kind of flag that I can set for which objects to generate and which not to generate. So back over there is the bench in question. And oh, I see. It chose to generate itself looking towards the water. Okay. So if we go here, oh man, that's actually a shame. So let's see if we can find a different bench that that's off in rotation. I can't find any benches. So that one doesn't really make sense, does it? To me, it seems like that bench should be looking at those segments. But actually it might just be looking at this segment here. But it's flipped. So most of the benches that I'm looking at, except this one's not good. So sometimes it's just flipped, right? I do think it's a rather simple fix. Here we're doing direction is closest point A to be normalized to bench is bench position. So we're getting closest point A. So I think the issue is that it could be either B minus A or A minus B. When trying to rotate a bench towards the segment, does it matter whether B minus A or A minus B? I wonder if this is flipping some benches whilst others are correct. I'm trying to align the bench direction with these segments. Is the dot check even correct? Because we're always using closest point A. Is that safe, considering that there is also the closest point B? I think that makes more sense. And we use the reference point here. And then we got it. Yeah, reference. And then we're saying, yeah. So I think this could be the fix, because again we're seeing some benches are correct, some others, and I believe it has to do with the order of A and B. So let's just check that. And if this works now, then we can start generating bus stops and start populating the world with some cool objects that we have. Yeah. So now we go here. Let's check this. So here we got a bench. Okay, let's just make sure it's always looking the same. This doesn't make sense to me. How does that happen? How's that one not the same direction? Huh? This one looks good. This one not so much. This one not so much either. This one looks good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the segments highlighted so I know exactly. Oh wait, can I also draw a point? Debug, draw. I can't draw a point, that's weird. But I'll easily mark the points with a line as well. First I want to definitely see which points these guys are aligning themselves to, which segments. And then also, why am I making my life so difficult? I will also give this a parent. Parent. Okay, so here we're gonna do game object. Benches. It's gonna be public. Or does that already do it? Pass that to the benches here. Transform. Slash parent. Yeah, okay. So now I won't have to check that whole list, and everything's gonna be a little more cleaned up here. Oh. So rotational point already has a bench parent here. Actually, I will just use this as the parent. Makes a little bit more sense. Okay, and then this can be null once again. And we remove this one here. Okay, benches should be generated. We're still going at it. Okay. So this one apparently also has that segment. So that's the only segment that all of them are looking at. And then the question is, why is he not rotated correctly? Is it perhaps a different bench? 0-1 clone. This is also 0-1 clone. Then 0-5 clone. So it's the same bench object. Why does it have such a weird rotation? This one also is looking away. So I'm gonna ask Claude. ChatGPT is not helping me here. I did everything I can to make the benches look at the closest segment. However, they are still sometimes aligned, looking at the closest, and whilst others are flipped 180 degrees. I thought I made sure that all of them would always look at the segments. That's not the case. Please help me to ensure every bench looks at the segment, no matter the order of A and B points, etc., etc. Determining direction vector and the way we check if it needs to be flipped. Using condition to face the closest segment. Instead of using the reference point approach, we now use the actual closest point on the segment. You gotta love Claude. I think he just fixed our issue. It's always important, of course, to double check, of course, right? His implementation. But if this works, then we're just gonna abstract this away so that I can generate everything with orientation towards the road, because bus stops are going to need the same treatment here. Okay, great. So, oh no. What segment is he using now? So the green line points towards the segment. So the segment now looks crossed, okay. What about you? This segment is not crossed. This one looks right. This one looks correct too. Yeah. Definitely correct. 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 This one's correct too. Also correct. Correct. Also correct. Also correct. So at least he's looking at that one. So there was only one issue. This one's also correct. There was one issue with this guy. What segment is he using? So I'm going to copy this position and tell the player to go there. So it seems that Claude saved our day. Now we take away this. Because he also found the river, which is good. The other one. And now, so okay. Then we need this, but instead of 90, we're doing 180. And now each and every bench should be aligned with the closest segment. Yeah. Now we can just quickly check that. This guy's looking there. Yeah. Thank you, Claude, for fixing this. All facing the. Also working. This guy's working too. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so now we got that working. Cool. That worked. Actually, can you make the calculations into generic methods that make sense so that I can easily use the rotation, the alignment logic for a new method like generate bus stop and have it align to the closest segment exactly like the benches do now. Amazing. Cool. Fun stuff. Yeah, very cool, very cool. So if this works now, if this works, yeah, it's working. Then now we can hit the bus stops. Amazing. So generate bus stop. Alignment here. Don't need this anymore. Do need this. With back press, we don't need that, so that's this. We need a final rotation, alignment. Rotation. Then we're gonna do jump object. This is gonna be bus stop parent. Bus stops parent. This is a bus stop object. And then we have the world object. Our game object is the bus stop object. And then it does add a so this is actually unnecessary. We won't ever call this. Generate bus stop. So now we go here. So now we go up here. It's not even doing the bus stops. So we're gonna make sure that we do those. Bus stop. Okay. Amazing. Then we go here and do an else if it is a bus stop, then we do generate bus stop. Okay, so this is public. We go here, generate bus stop, object data is bus stop, all pass. Great. Amazing. So let's check out if that works. I'll be right back. So there's an error here. What happened? Bus stops parent.transform. Bus stops parent. Okay. So that didn't work. So these bus stops seem to be aligned. They seem to be just going crazy altogether. I do want the debugging back. Like, this just doesn't make sense to me. Can you add debugging to this so that it draws the segment that it's aligning to the line to the closest point, etc. So this doesn't make any sense at all to draw the ones being tested. That doesn't make any sense at all. We can see the paths already, it doesn't really matter. And I think that just drew over the ones found. So yeah, now we get the ones that are found here nice and yellow. Okay, here we might have an issue that the bus stop is actually on the path. That means we might just have to remove some of them. Like this one's being aligned nicely. I like that. Okay, let's check out the next one. Again, it's on the path, which obviously makes it very difficult to align with it. Again, on the path. Again, on the path. You know? So I might just have to not render the ones that are on paths, right? Or I could of course displace them. Give them like an offset from the path. Yeah, all of these are being rendered on the path. It's not nice. So let's check out these bus stops here. No, those are the benches. Then we have Kirche. Okay. Really? Is that really where they placed it? Let me just check that. Okay, so that one, yeah, they placed it right on the path. That's difficult, that's difficult. Okay, so I see 1 and 2, but where does number 3 come from? Like, which one is this? Which one is that? Let me see. What's going on here? Ah. Bus, yes. Stop position. Ah, so there's a not on the street. Public transport stop position. But then there's an actual Bushaltestelle, which is also bus, yes. Public transport. Okay, so let me just... Yeah, so I think it's the public transport tag that I need to use. For example, here there's a Knoten. This is a stop position. Ah, yeah, okay. Oh, interesting. So I actually have the information where the bus is supposed to stop. That's interesting. So that means... Yeah, I can use that when I'm actually simulating buses, but till then, we're going to filter those out and only consider buses. So let's see, we don't need line string, we don't need polygon, we need point. Is shop, is bus, yes, and public transport is equals to platform. That way we get rid of these and we'll only have that one and that one. And then in the past we could easily filter. So if it's a footway, it's a track. So I think we're going to need to type track, but also we're going to need OSM type. OSM type. This is going to be footway. More specific, like footway, etc. So OSM type is equals yeah, if highway is footway, then we don't use that. Okay, cool. So we'll go to rotational point builder, all paths. Okay, that means we can do this selective for the bus stops. It doesn't pass all paths, but it says list line string relevant paths is paths where path punct OSM type is not footway. And what else do we have to? Let me see. Maybe we can just filter out all tracks because they will never be on footways, right? So let's go back into the GeoJSON manager. It won't be a cycleway. Yeah, so I think you know what? We don't need the OSM type for now. I didn't like that anyway. And now we get an error here. Don't need the OSM type anymore. And then we simply say where the type is not a track. Bus stops don't ever align with tracks. They will always align with drivable paths, e.g. roads. And then this way, we should have fixed it. I think we should have fixed it here. I'm not too sure yet. Okay, let's see. Oh, also the bus stops are gonna need to be a lot bigger than they are right now. So let's see this one. Perfect. And we filtered out that weird one, right? Perfect. This one. Which one is this? Yeah, this kind of sucks. So it's like on a path. Okay, fine. First of all, we'll make the bus stop bigger. Additional point, bus stop. Okay, let's fix the prefab for now. We'll figure out why this. Just give it a standard one. Nice. Okay. And then we're gonna say this is 3 times. Yeah. Should be better. So bring that to 0. Bring it in front of the player. It should still probably be bigger, shouldn't it? Oh yeah. Still way too tiny. So let's say 5. Wait a minute. No. Let's see how that looks. That looks good. So we're going to keep it at 3. And begin the generation. So that one's of course kind of annoying, obviously. But you know, there's honestly not much that you can do about this. You know? Got the benches over here. What we could do, of course, is like some kind of move them towards the street. This must be, let me see. This must be Bagdadsweg. I'm guessing. Yeah. And that's where it stops. Okay. Cool. One step closer. It's really a shame that they don't have that other bench in there. Like there's this really iconic bench right here, but it's just not there. Maybe they took it away. Right here. Oh, it's so stupid. Why would they place that on the path? That's so dumb. Like, really. Such a shame, man. I won't be able to fix that because those guys didn't map it properly. But I think things are looking pretty good, aren't they? I think they are. Let me check one more thing. So if I see a fire station over there, question is how do we rotate that correctly? Might not be too important. Okay, I've already got that. So I don't know why it didn't generate the other bus stops. There should be one right here. That's a bus stop, right? Highway bus stop. So public transfer we're actually going to do is unequal to, one sec, to stop position. Yeah, and then we should get that one too, because this one says highways bus stop. It doesn't say bus yes. So we'll do that, or so it's either one of these, but also definitely not highways bus stop. So then we should also get that one that are obviously missed. Sometimes OSM tags can be really redundant and confusing, but they do tend to offer so much information. Like, imagine that, you know exactly where the bus stops on the road. Like, come on. That's so much data that people are just collecting like that for free. Okay. Yeah, so now we got these two bad boys. And then you have this bus stop, which is the one with the school. Amazing. Very cool. I'm just thinking what else we could do. Like, now that we got the rotation down, we should actually take a look at our list. Let's see which one we could do here. Yeah, this will definitely get that back to be looking better. This one too. I guess this would be cool too. I mean, all of it. Yeah, like if I can get a working playground to work, that'd be pretty fun too. Like just some kind of generic random rotation. Random generation there. Fountain would also be fun. A car shop would be pretty cool too. So if we go up here. Autohausmöller. So the thing here. This is the car shop, right? Shop car. That's what it would be. And then you got this rotation, and then it will be kind of. I should probably align those to the closest path segment as well. So let's see if I can get a car shop prefab. I might actually just need that big asset pack, because I think that would have what I need here. So what if I do, what was that big pack? Oh wait, here, big asset, this is it. The question is, does this have a car shop, car showroom, as a school, roadside buildings? Yeah, you see, I think I'm gonna have to buy this eventually. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a car shop. That's perfect. Okay, big asset. I mean, I have to buy this. It has everything I need. Like literally. And then we can we can start populating these villages, man. I think that will be the, yeah, like before I even get into considering generating like ruins for all the buildings, I think it does make sense to first generate all public buildings first. Everything that I got information of, generate all that first, and then figure out whether the game needs whether the game still needs the ruins, you know, for all of the buildings. I think that's a good idea to do, instead of like doing all that, getting into the ruins right now. I think, yeah, it definitely makes sense. Okay. And then there's the school here. It's probably the interior, which is amazing. Like, ugh. Okay, this is awesome. That's awesome. You like get a whole school building. I think things are really gonna turn around when I start generating all these buildings, you know? Let's see if it has a fire thing actually. Oh, I need to confirm my identity here. I need to do that again. There you go. Yeah. $300 MB. You know what I'm gonna do. Download it all. Very cool. we should probably look here and begin with schools. So this here is a school. And the question is, of course, how do we consider this school building, right? Because if I get the centroid, it's gonna be like somewhere. Centroid will be somewhere here, and then that begs the question: how do I rotate it, right? If this would at least not be... Yeah, so if... Yeah, man, if they would have cut this off, it would be so easy to rotate it properly. But they made it one big building, which is going to make it a lot more difficult to get the rotation right. Huh, it's funny. This at some point was a school as well. Now it seems to just be building us. Kindergarten. Avocare Tagespflege. So we're gonna do kindergartens. And perhaps just use the school for that. But the school is a long building, I don't know if that will work. And of course we need the government building, Rathaus. They should definitely have something like that in here. Police, equipment market, school, bookstore, hospital, post office. I mean, like, I need a mayor's building or something. It's a nice church. Tank station. Books and press. Can do bookstores. Got an alternative bus stop here, but I like the one that I have already. Okay, let's figure this thing out here. First we put that into assets. Okay, city 1, 2, 3. Old town. Okay. Hotel, gas station, garage, car wash, car service. Let's check that out. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so we don't need that for now. What's this? Temporary housing? No way. Interesting. Security booth. Interesting too. Hotel. Don't need that. Gas station. So I just want to see what this style looks like when I bring it over here. Oh no. It does not fit the style. That's not good. It's too detailed. Okay. Let's look at the school here. Okay, so this is all the interior. Here we got the school itself. Oh no. Guys, this is not going to work at all. It's not low poly at all. It's a whole different style. Maybe if I can, you know what, maybe I can fix these into what we need. By changing the materials. The question is how they skin this. I mean, if I remove, let's see. Yeah, so what I can do is fix this by simply saying you or none. That looks much better already. Yeah. So that looks more like our style. And then of course, when shit hits the fan, I can always come back here. Oh, so this is just a poster. That's no issue. I can always just come back here and fix it here, you know. I'm guessing they're using this orange over there. Yeah, so they're oh yeah, down here we have the color map. Are these separate objects? Oh, okay, they're separate objects. Perhaps we can work with that too. Like these ones, this cube. Okay, if I go here, change that. That's that again. And then, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Okay. Can we use that, or is it too detailed? It's definitely not low poly, and I just paid $80 for all of it. Okay, guys, I'll be gone for a sec, just for a minute. See, there are some stuff here that does look good, actually. You know, some stuff is pretty low poly. Let me get the toilets there. But otherwise, a lot of it is just like they're not even consistent with their own style, which is kind of a shame. But I think we can work with it somehow, make it work, right? Okay. So I'll be gone for now. See you guys.
up into a draw a long time ago. But just the way he played, and he goes for the idea of 8-7.
I only see one trick here for Jan Nepomniachtchi, that is to run the black king into the corner somehow and hope for stalemate. Hope to give up the black rook, a kamikaze rook as they call it, as long as there are no checks. But ultimately Magnus will not fall for that one. And what to even play here? I'm expecting him to bring his king across to stop that white h pawn. Of course, if you take that white h pawn, you get skewered. The white rook steps up to the 7th rank with a check. Rook trade. It will be game over. Jan does guard the pawn with his king. Magnus
this idea. Maybe he goes like, he goes
Check.
first. Okay.
Ooh.
6.
Goes forward with the king. I thought he'd go into the corner and hope for stalemate there. But now black is frozen. The pawns are coming.
I think he's about to resign. How do you even answer this? You've got to go king to f6, closer to that e pawn. The rook holds the h pawn, the king holds the e pawn.
Oh, you still e7, I think. e7. This is a nice move. With king f7, you can queen and then rook check, which is nice.
Tactics everywhere.
Or even rook
Even
check.
with two pieces on the board.
Yeah.
Love it, James.
Very nice.
We might see queen versus rook if Magnus pushes his e pawn right now. And he'll promote, but black might be able to grab some material in the meantime. We see a check. White king forced back.
Oh, 10 seconds for Magnus, though. I think we're going to have the king and queen versus king and rook.
There it is.
It's happening. But the rook is going to be very disconnected from the king. Will Magnus find a way to...
Played that move with 2 seconds left, by the way. And Magnus, he was thinking about promoting to a knight with check, but it didn't quite work. And now the black king and rook so far apart.
And there can be dangerous checks that end up winning the rook, and he's got to get the black rook close to the king.
He's getting jumpy, Magnus. He's made a couple of moves now with 1-2 seconds left on his clock. He made the last move with 1 second left. And, okay, he pins the black rook. He's closing in, but there are some stalemate tricks here. If you walk too close, you need to keep your queen and king and knight move away from each other. That tends to be the trick. Magnus is trying to gain time on the clock, though. Very professional.
And he's managed to get those extra couple of seconds. He's also moved his queen far away, so no ideas of stalemate just yet, but that's the one trick that white has to be careful about in these positions, as Jan tries to achieve those setups by getting his king to the corner.
Yeah. Oh, Jan leaning back. He knows that the net is closing around the black king. He has to cut him off on the 6th rank here. But there we go. Checkmate imminent. Jan resigns. Magnus takes the first win.
That was awesome. I mean, Magnus actually played an incredible game during, obviously opening, middle, and end game here, but Jan had some chances. I think the knight c4 was obviously a blunder there, giving Magnus exactly what he was looking for, just a little bit of something. I want something from this game, and Magnus got that after the knight c4 mistake from Jan.
Yeah. Also winning, I guess.
Yeah.
I just got that last word crazy. It was a crazy moment in this game when Magnus sacrificed the queen. Jan had the opportunity to nullify that with a counter queen sacrifice. He missed it. But to me, from a psychological aspect, I think the game turned around, James, the moment Magnus refused a repetition.
Absolutely, of course. I mean, and that the mindset there is like, you play, if you want to draw, you have to play for a win. Of course, Jan already knows this too as well. He is playing Magnus there, and then of course he tried to play a little bit more, play knight c4, and literally blundered like 2 moves later. After knight e5, going knight c4, dropped the pawn, couldn't find queen f2. Magnus wins.
For Jan Nepomniachtchi, a tough start to the final here, but he has been bang on form this whole week. So